えてほしい歌を
Hatsune Miku was made to sing. That's her entire purpose, a digital idol, a symbol of boundless creativity designed to give voice to millions. But in Colorful Stage, the movie, a Miku Who Can't Sing, she doesn't. Her songs don't reach anyone, and she's been silenced to the world. And in that silence, something strange happens. Miku, the perfect performer, becomes painfully, beautifully human. This isn't just the story of a digital icon losing her voice. It's about what happens when we lose ours. It's a story that highlights the reformative and destructive power of silence. What happens when our inner voice, the one we use to express our deepest truths, gets swallowed up by our own worst critic, ourselves? Welcome back to Story Root, where we don't just talk about stories, we listen to what they're trying to tell us. So find a good tree to sit under, admire the world around you, and let's get digging. Before this movie, I didn't grow up with Miku. To me, she was just a cute anime girl, part of the internet's early chaos. Memes, parodies, fan songs, mods, she was everywhere. But also, she was kind of nothing. So I asked people, why does she matter? And the answer I kept getting was this. Miku is sort of a representation of the beauty of creation itself. She's not just a character. She also functions as kind of like a vessel. A blank slate that artists, fans, musicians, all kinds of creators can project their voice onto. She's been a race car driver, a Gundam pilot, she's Cinnamoroll's bestie. To a cynic, it might look like unfocused branding or capitalism achieving its final form, squeezing every last dollar out of our pockets. But to fans, that endless reimagining is the whole point. Miku is creativity personified. So going into this film, I wondered, how do you turn something so open-ended into a story with real emotional weight? And the answer is, like I said, you take away the one thing she was made to do. You let her go silent. In the movie, Miku's voice isn't just gone. The lack of her voice begins the fracturing of her entire world. Each character in the story is tied to their own version of Miku. They're all living in their own sekai, or a personal creative world that reflects their emotional inner life. These worlds are shaped by music, performance, storytelling, their passions, their identity. But when Miku goes quiet, those worlds start to collapse. And what follows isn't just a plot about fixing a glitch. It's a quiet, devastating unraveling. The characters start questioning themselves. What happens when the one thing that I think makes me, disappears? The silence becomes contagious. These people, they stop writing, they stop performing, and overall, they stop believing. They lash out, not because they're only frustrated, but because they also feel disconnected from the part of themselves that knew how to feel. The movie doesn't treat creativity like a skill, it treats it like a lifeline. It's something deeply woven into who we are. And when that lifeline frays, when we can't reach our inner voice, we don't just stop creating, we start questioning if we ever mattered at all. There's a moment in the movie that hit me hard. A character stares into their unfinished drawing and says, "I can't make anything good anymore." It's such a simple line, but it unlocked something in me I hadn't admitted to myself. Because I felt that. That creeping doubt that maybe your best work is behind you. That maybe you're just pretending to still have something to say. That maybe your inner Miku has gone quiet too. The message of this movie isn't shouted. It's whispered. It whispers in quiet scenes, in blank notebooks, in unfinished songs. The silence becomes its own character, a presence, a pressure. And Miku, the girl who was made to sing, becomes the perfect symbol for that. Not because she's voiceless, but because we hear ourselves in that voicelessness. It's not about perfection. It's about the ache to be heard. Not as a product, not as a performance, but as a person trying to share something real. In a strange, beautiful way, Miku's silence made her feel more alive than ever. Because it reminded me, even the most polished idols carry the same doubt that lives in us. The movie shows us that, yes, through it all, even a hologram idol Hatsune Miku can wonder if the things that she creates can reach us on a personal level. When I mentioned that the film turns creativity on its head as a lifeline, I think it does that very well because overall, we think of creativity as a gift. Maybe some people are born with it, others work at it. But overall, we see it as something that flows from us when we're inspired enough. But this movie is a great reminder that creativity is not always like that. Sometimes our creativity is fragile. Sometimes it's wearing a different face. You sit down to make something, and that inner voice goes from inspiring to something that creeps in. An inner voice that tells you, this isn't good enough. You're not good enough. Why are we even trying? Nobody will listen or watch or see this. And this movie visualizes that so clearly. The characters go silent not because they have nothing to say, but because they don't believe anyone wants to hear it. They don't believe anyone needs to hear it. And Miku, who exists in the real world to channel our voices, reflects that perfectly in the movie. When she stops singing, there's so many characters that feel that, like their mirror into themselves shatters. And when Miku breaks, I saw myself broken a little bit in there too. But here's what I love. The movie doesn't offer a quick fix. There's no magical concert that solves everyone's problem just like that, and there's no sudden burst of inspiration to save the day. Instead, there's a bit of a teaching moment where it invites us to sit in the silence. There are characters, although inspired to try and fix what's been broken, they struggle too. They have to fight through their own writer's block and doubt about having the right voice or message. And they listen to it. They ask, what is the silence trying to tell me? Because silence isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's the space where creativity reforms. It's the breath before a chorus, the moment before a breakthrough. And when the characters finally start to find their voice again, it's not because they're no longer afraid, it's because they're learning to create through it. That to me is the heart of the movie. Not just believe in yourself, but believe that your voice still matters, even when it's quiet. As I sat with this movie and I thought about all the different times of my life where I had to create or I wanted to, I've come to the conclusion that creativity is an act of trust. In your ideas, in your voice, in your ability to start again. I've known what it's like to stare at a blank page and hear nothing. To wonder if my voice is worth anything if it's not loud, or profitable, or perfect. But Colorful Stage, the movie, a Miku Who Can't Sing, reminded me of something I think we all forgot. Your voice doesn't need to be marketable to matter. It doesn't need likes or streams or a flawless mix. It just needs to be yours. Because the act of creating, of expressing something real, isn't about proving your worth. It's about feeling your worth. Letting yourself exist, out loud or in silence, and knowing that's enough. So whether you're writing a song, drawing a messy sketch, filming a video essay, or just sitting with your own thoughts, I invite you to connect with your own inner Miku. Your vessel, your voice. Even if it's quiet. You know what? No, especially if it's quiet. You don't need to raise your voice. Just trust it. The right people will hear it. And sometimes that even means you. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, consider leaving a comment sharing what your inner Miku looks like, or what helps you find your voice again after it's gone quiet. And if you know someone who's struggling to create or to believe in what they're making, I invite you to send this to them. Let them know they're not alone. Heck, drop some of your stuff in the comments. I'd love to hear what your inner voice is trying to reach to others. Until next time, keep listening, keep feeling, and keep creating, even if it's just one silent beat at a time. I don't know, maybe I'm projecting, but that's what art is for, right?